Due to the graphic nature of its content, listener discretion is advised.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight.
On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Mike and Jocelyn sit down with Army veteran Kyle Snyder. Actually, I should digress. He's an Army and a Navy veteran, and a combat veteran, and a Purple Heart recipient, and an all-around badass. So, he is the founder of Archangel Alliance, and Archangel Alliance was started in 2014 as a way to help military members and their families with financial assistance, such things as rent, electricity, food, etc. They're a 501c3, and they depend entirely 100% on donations. Kyle was, correct me if I'm wrong, you were medically retired, correct?
Yeah, October 2014.
That's how it was. And came out into the civilian world, so to speak. And it's been one hell of a roller coaster. We were talking about it earlier today. How Kyle and I first met was through EBV. We're both graduates of the Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans under the Institute of Veteran Military and Families. And we just got to shooting the shit on a bus one day, going out for like a little field trip or something. So, very interesting backstory. Gotta say, man, it's an honor and a privilege to have you. So, welcome to Cigars and Sea Stories.
Well, I'm happy to be here. So, look forward to the opportunity to sit down and talk to you guys.
Right on, right on.
Well, so
go for it, Jess.
Oh,
He's our opener. Come on. We're interviewing, but it's like, you interview for like 20%, and then we're going to talk about shooting shit and stuff like that.
You know, what
do you got, Jess?
Well, I was just going to say, what was the inception of Archangel Alliance? How did that come about?
Our call sign was Archangels over in Afghanistan. And on my patrol, there was three soldiers were killed. I was on a dismounted patrol that was approached by a suicide bomber. Detonated his vest, killed 3, injured 3, including myself and 2 others. And so when we came back, and I went to EBV with Mike, like Mike said, because of the outpouring of support that we were getting from local organizations and other military members and such, I just wanted to kind of, wrap that all into one blanket. And so that's where the Archangel Alliance came in. And that's what we went with, and that's what stuck.
Right on. I did not know that. That's a kick-ass backstory.
Well, so what is your overarching goal with Archangel Alliance? I know Mike had briefly mentioned it, but for the listeners out there.
Well, what we're looking to do is, one of the things, Just, is when I came back, I can remember sitting in my living room in December of 2012, right before I went back to Walter Reed, and having somebody knock at my door, and just, my wife and I have 5 kids between us, and just each kid had a huge box of presents for Christmas and gift cards and the food and everything. So, we knew at that moment that we had to do something to give back and then pay it forward. So what we're looking, when we started out, we're 100% donations, monetary donations, and it was kind of slow getting our foot out there and getting into the communities and such. But through the National Guard, we were able to get some help to some soldiers and their families. And I stress families because we know the importance of when we as service members deploy, our families also deploy. So that husband or that wife who's, and more times it's the wife is left behind, she may run across things that otherwise the husband would take care of. And so, we got into helping with bills, just knowing through family programs where I was working that, if a car breaks down, 9 times out of 10, the woman hasn't any clue where to go, what might be wrong with it. So we started out that way, but one of the long-term goals is that we want to do is we're actually this summer we're going to sponsor a soldier on a rice and beans missions trip to Costa Rica. And then also we're going to start an educational grant for a junior soldier in the unit that I deployed with, which is the 514th MP Company out of Winterville, North Carolina, to kind of offset the cost on books, just kind of help them and give back to the unit, and so that always maintain that relationship with the unit. I still have a lot of friends that are down there, but we need to, as giving back is a mean of things. That's what we need to do, and so that's a couple of things that we're looking to do. We're also looking to venture into partnering with other organizations and just really putting a stamp on the community, and so people know that if they need financial assistance, that we're willing to help them. And we'd also like to get into toy drives and food drives and things like that. So we're slowly getting there.
So this is mostly serving those that are still serving, correct? Still in uniform?
It's still in uniform and veterans. It's, you may not wear the uniform every day anymore, but you've worn the uniform. You've worn the cloth. And it's multi-component. It's not just Army, Navy, it's Marine, Air Force. It's whatever. And it's the families. So it's not, if somebody comes up and contacts us, which we have helped a couple that are veterans now, and need some help, I'm not going to say, well, you're not active or you're not a reserve or guard component. We're surely going to help them.
Well, that goes, I'm sorry to just kind of insert there, but that goes hand in hand with what we were talking about earlier, because you said something, and I'd like to kind of go into the backstory on this, because there is a pain point, a problem opportunity statement to what you're doing here. You're running a 501. We're looking to accelerate. We want to go somewhere with this because you have a pain point, and you articulated this earlier today. But I got to ask you a question, which might sound a little off topic here. When you were on patrol, did you ever evac somebody else before you were wounded?
No.
You never did? Okay.
No.
Here's why I ask. Because you had said something about when you were actually wounded. Now, I've evac'd somebody numerous times before. And, knock on wood, have never been wounded. But I always wondered what that experience was like. Now, you articulated in about a sentence earlier the relief component that came along with that, and then the aftermath effect. Mm-hmm. Could we kind of go back through that? Now, we've all lived through explosions before. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was in that moment that the problem for Archangel Alliance to answer came about. At least that I saw.
Are you talking about when I said the easiest part was getting injured?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Being over in Afghanistan and your family back in the States, I was fortunate enough to be able to call my wife about 3 hours after the attack. When they took me to Salerno, and they had one operating room, and a good friend of mine that was with me that was injured or more severe, they took him back. And I can remember, trying to get the sulfur out of my mouth. And the chaplain told me, he said, we're going to give you a phone or a computer to contact your loved one. Well, at that time, it's 3:30 in the morning here. From that moment on, for 2 years, she sacrificed a lot. And so, the easiest part was me being injured, because after that, I've endured numerous surgeries. We've had to leave our kids behind to go to Walter Reed. She had to quit her job to take care of me. Get me back and forth to Fort Bragg for appointments once I got released from Walter Reed. So it was tough. And in hindsight, you look back and you say, you know what? It was easy for me to, once I survived that blast, I knew I was going to be okay. Was I out of the woods? By no means, but I knew I was going to be okay. But everything that ensued afterwards is what you stop and think about. And I was doing an interview the other day, and I told the guy, and he looked like he got hit in the head with a dart, and he's like, I've never heard that, but that's just the way I felt, because so much has happened since, so that was the easiest part.
I found that to be interesting, but I've heard somebody else say that as well, and in my opinion, that's a damn shame to whatever regard, because the spouses aren't being taken care of.
That's right.
In that moment. And so there is the niche, as
Right.
unfortunate as it may be.
Well, let me elaborate on that, because I called her in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. Okay, she called the headquarters here in Raleigh. They had no idea. They basically thought she was lying. And even afterwards, she never got a phone call to confirm it. Never did from the guard component. Now, was it a mix-up, communication error? Yeah, there was a lot of balls that got dropped on that occasion. But one thing that we have done is the Guard has made it right for us. The North Carolina National Guard has made it right for us, and we have a great partnership with them. And I've trust me, numerous times gone into conversations, and we've corrected that path. And I made sure that when I was working before my transition out to the retired side, that I made sure that no North Carolina service member who ever went through Landstuhl, Germany, every one of them made a contact with me, or I made contact with them, because I wanted them to know that, they were not forgotten, and we were going to take care of them, that we were tracking them. So, out of some bad came some good, and that, they're still doing that today. So, you take your lumps, but in the end, if you make it all right, that's the big thing.
Yeah. See, and I really like that story, especially because it frames up, coming home, getting the house, going through that transition as a whole. Mm-hmm. How did that go also? Because you were, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to say that you were given, but there was a house that was built, correct?
Yeah. Back last February of 2015, we got a phone call, and you see all these organizations that build homes for wounded warriors. And we got a phone call, and I knew the person on the other end because I'd worked with her, and she said, that there's a nonprofit organization that wants to build us a mortgage-free home. But
Wow.
I thought there's got to be somebody else out there that does, can use this more than us. We were fine. My wife was back to work at the time, and so we were fine. Mm-hmm. But they insisted on us for the simple fact that we're giving back. We flipped what happened to us and are turning it around to help others. But not only that, she said that one of the things that really drove them to us was, that we're always looking out for somebody else. So Operation Coming Home, nominated us, and we went through, and the announcement was made at the ACC tournament in March of 2015. And the only stipulation is you don't get to say, this is where I want my home and how big do I want my home. But they build it to your specifications. They build it to your family size, and it's all, handicap accessible. The doorways are wider, just in case, because even though I'm not an amputee, they look at me as a single amputee because of the problems that I have with my legs. So they've already done that in advance. And so it is a mortgage-free home that is donated by over 40 vendors, all the services and labor. And it was a big deal. So, we were gracious for that. But it's, there's other programs out there, but you don't ever want to say, we paid something for this. And again,
right.
That's somebody that's gracious enough to be able to afford us this brand new home in Wake Forest.
Aside from the home, I like how you put that it was us. It was you and your wife that
right.
went through it. A lot of people kind of zone in or zero in on just a veteran, and I don't think that enough credit is applied to the spouses.
That's right. That's right.
Often overlooked. Basically, it's a second job, and so I really do appreciate how you put that.
Well, it's like I said before earlier, this is a teamwork. When you're married and you have kids, two sides deploy. I didn't just deploy; she deployed. The kids deployed. The kids had to grow up faster than they should have. And so everything has always been us. This is our nonprofit. It's not mine. It's ours. And, she could probably tell you my story as well as I could because she's heard it so many times. I've done numerous speaking engagements, and different interviews, and she's been there for it. And she could tell you as well as I do. She's gone through the hard times. She's gone through the good times. But you're right. The spouses often do, and more often than they ever should, get overlooked. And so this is a teamwork effort. So, it's not our house or it's not my house. It's our house. And I have heard somebody in an interview that received a mortgage-free home say, "Look behind me. This is my house," with his wife standing next to him. So, yeah. And when that was said, that struck a nerve with me, but it's just, I don't know, maybe some people want to be, put out there a little bit more than others, but everything is ours.
So that's a huge, huge blessing to be given. And I'm glad they have a discernment, they're looking through and trying to find people that they want to give these houses to. Do you know any other requirements or what are they? I know there's many organizations that do this type of thing, but
right. Now, Operation Coming Home is who we work with, or who who did us.
Tell the audience about this. This guy's mission is fantastic. The guy who founded this and the whole spectrum of it. I mean, there's a lot of energy and stuff, and they're growing like crazy. Give us a whole backstory on this Coming Home.
It actually started. Andy Ladner, who is a co-founder of Operation Coming Home, co-founder U.S. Veterans Corps right here out of Cary, and he's a former Army and was working in the housing industry with the Home Builders Association. And years ago, Extreme Makeover did the very first combat wounded veteran Extreme Home Makeover. And he was part of that, and he came back, and it all started. He said, "Why can't we do this here?" So what he did is he went through the Home Builders Association and got people on board, and just started getting vendors and looking for combat wounded veterans who do not own their own homes. You cannot own your own home to be part of this program. But for the most part, everything else, as long as you're combat wounded, everything else is fair game. And basically what he did is he started Operation Coming Home. Well, Operation Coming Home is Operation Coming Home when there's a house going up. 90% of the other time, it's U.S. Veterans Corps, which does toy drives. They're in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most toys collected in pounds in 24 hours.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
No joke. That's awesome.
Yep. Food drives, clothes. This guy is nonstop energy. I've never met anybody that matches his energy. He's on the road. Military disasters, when the Air Force plane crashed, I think it was down in Louisiana a year or so ago. He loads up his trailers at the drop of a hat and goes. The floods in South Carolina last summer, loaded up the trailers with water and stuff and toys for kids, goes. He doesn't plan it. It's not, hey, a week down the line. It's, hey, we've got a mission. Some of the missions are so secretive, that they don't put much out there other than to say, helping a Marine, helping a, Army Ranger. And then some of them are taking toys to kids, food. It's just, this guy's mission is unreal. But he wears a different hat, and that's being the president of the Operation Coming Home board. And right now they've got 3 houses going up. They delivered 3 houses last year. And then this year they've got 3. Actually, they'll have a key ceremony next month. And then they've got a Marine Raider who will be getting one during the summer. And then one where they've actually, for the first time, expanded down to Fort Mill, South Carolina. And so that's going to be the farthest distance that they've ever built a house. So that program is growing. But it's just unreal. And it's U.S. Veterans Corps and then Operation Coming Home. And, look them up on Facebook. and Twitter, this guy is on the move 24/7.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
I mean,
it's awesome.
yeah.
It's awesome to see.
Yeah, and it all started in wanting to give back to to wounded veterans, but then again, he's a family man. He's got a wife and kids, but he's also giving back to families with toys. I mean, I encourage you, and if you guys ever in the area, just let me know. I'll take you to the Ops Center in Cary. He'd love to have you come down and show you. You would never seen something like this in your life.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
It's pretty awesome, their operations center and some of the history that they've collected over the years. And so it's, if you're ever up this way, man, we can take a road trip over there. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to plan that here soon.
We got to pull in Bunker Labs on that.
Yeah, and that's another
way.
thing. That's another thing. When we were talking about that today, when we got off, I thought, you know what? That's a big match right there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, these guys have a demolition team. They've got a team that, listen, you could call up and say, hey, man, I'm in a bind. I need to move. I've got 2 days to get out of this apartment. They're going to have a trailer, and they're going to have a truck, and they're going to come move you. They've got a demolition team. They've got a rappel team. They've got a skydiving team. But he's the things that he does goes above and beyond. And they've just won, I think in January or February, their 6th consecutive national award for nonprofit business down in Las Vegas.
Very cool.
Nice.
Doing it right. And what was the name of his organization again?
It's U.S. Veterans Corps, United States Veterans Corps.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then it's Operation Coming Home is the other part of it.
So,
yeah, if you can, shoot us links to those. What's up, Jess?
moving to a slightly lighter note here, you are both a Navy and an Army veteran. Do you consider yourself a sailor or soldier?
Soldier.
Soldier?
Be honest with me. Did you get tired of grabbing your ankles in the Navy? Is that what it was? You know it stands for need any Vaseline yet, right?
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't a doc, were you?
No.
What'd you do?
I was a communications guy. Back then it was called radioman, and now I think it's a crypto tech or something. They've changed it a couple times since I was in.
Nice. I just love making fun of real squids. You know what I mean?
Go down in a sub with 150, come back with 75 couples. I've heard them all.
There you go. There you go.
So the rumors are true.
Yeah, I can neither confirm nor deny the accusations.
They were doubling up on bumps.
I was never on a submarine. Hey, we hot rat.
Yeah, but you didn't need to. That's the see.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, needless to say, I mean, both branches carry their merit, and obviously you carry experiences from both that were impactful. As anyone would. What do you carry with you still from both of them that you still use today?
Well, I think with the Navy is a little bit different. When you do a med cruise and you see 8 or 10 different areas in different countries, meeting the people, I think that was something that I'll carry with me because I've been to Benidorm, Spain, Toulon, Menton, France. I've been to Australia. I've done a few trips to Guantanamo Bay, unfortunately. But I think the trips, the overseas, the countries, with the Navy was something I carry with me. As far as with the Army was my deployment was cut short. My time was cut short. And so that's the one thing that I wish I still had that opportunity to, I wish that we could have finished that a different way. Brought everybody back on that plane. And that's the one day that forever in my life is that I can't get rid of. But the one thing that I can take with that is, you know, a lot of things have happened that have made big impact on me, and you know, with my family going through everything they went through. And I say today that I don't know that, you know, had that day never happened, you know, it's just one of those things where you never think it'll happen to you. You never think that, you know, you're in harm's way when you're a fool to think that, because you're in a war-torn country. But they happened, and I think we've made the best of it, and we've learned a lot and along the way. And so just not having that, you know, that time around the guys and you know, the camaraderie is what I miss.
I think the biggest thing about this that I hear coming out of it is that similar, it's almost like a similar frustrating suffrage that we all go about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we hit that different stride in our teams. We look for each other, and it's like, are you willing to go through this challenge with me? And
that's right. And
suffer side by side, and we can commit to that.
And I think too that when we came back, I was the oldest one in my platoon, and there was a sense of leadership there. You know, I was leading the platoon at the time, or the squad at the time, and you know, that was my mission. And so there was that part of guilt that I had to live with. But there was a lot of young kids in that, a lot of young men and women in that squad that day, a lot of 20-somethings. So being able to come back, you know, and prepare myself to be ready to talk to them, and it did. I talked to a few of them. I talked to a few of them while they were still over there. And, you know, you build that relationship with those kids, because I did look at them as my kids over there, because I had, you know, a son that was as old as they were. You know, so that's one of the things. I can take those relationships and those friendships, and I'm good. You know, I know that hopefully I've helped at least one get through the transition. You know, and it was tough. You know, a lot of those guys got out when they got back. It was too much for them, but to know that I was able to at least help one or two is satisfying.
Yeah, it's important for us in doing what we've done with Cigars and Sea Stories to maintain that, how do I put it, that for fuck's sake, it's bullshitting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's great having somebody like yourself on, and for what it's worth, I'm proud to know you. I'm real happy that we bumped into one another at EBV. I'm glad that we're now co-located in and around, you know, the same region. So This is cool, man.
I told you, move on down to North Carolina, and you did,
yeah.
man. You're what, 9 miles from me, and so it's cool because, you know, we've got our other counterpart down that's close to us. So, and it's a pretty cool thing. And you know, what you're doing as well is getting us out there, and that's that little boost that, you know, is gonna make this area better, and is gonna, you know, be able to get together with other nonprofits and other businesses like Bunker Lab and just, you know, do the shit, you know, get out there and really do it for our veterans and their families.
Nice. Cigars and Sea Stories is proud to support and sling Counter-Strike Coffee. Counter-Strike Coffee, I want you to know, is meant to be drink black. Now, I myself love coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker. I went away from black coffee for a little while. Needed the cream and sugar when I was rocking it with the generic blend. Counter-Strike Coffee brought me back into the fold in a huge, huge way. They do a great dark roast. I'm a big fan of napalm. That's my fave. Smooth operator is good, though. It can go with cakes and pies, and I got a bit of a sweet tooth. I know a couple of us do, you know. And then also Firewatch. I mean, Firewatch, that's going to be the kick in the ass that you need in order to get your day going the right way. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't already done so, check out counterstrikecoffee.com. Use promo code Cigars and Sea. You will get 10% off. Again, that's counterstrikecoffee.com. Use promo code Cigars and Sea to get yourself 10% off. So what's the most fucked up, hilarious, embarrassing, or otherwise stupid-ass moment that occurred to you while you were in service?
So I was thinking today, and I was like, man, my first ship was a fast frigate. I think it was 89, and we were heading to Guantanamo Bay. And at the time you had, I don't know, there's probably about 200 to 300 sailors on that ship. So you had one washer and one dryer. So I got on there, and after about 4 days in, I'm like, dude, you had to stay up all day and all night to get into the washer. So guy that I work with said, hey man, he's like, just come out with us tonight. He said, we'll tie up our laundry bags, the old knitted bags with the holes in them. He said, we tie them up real tight, we'll throw them over the side of the ship. He said, the salt water will, wash your clothes, and then you just hang them down down at the bunks. So I'm like, all right. So get out there, and, I go down and get some rope and come out there. There's a couple, I think there was 3 or 4 of us. And I tie a knot. Like, I'm 20 years old. So I tie a knot, like a knot. Okay, not even thinking this.
One knot.
Just,
like,
I may have doubled it up. I may have doubled it up. Anyways, so, I look back and you can see the white bags bouncing in the water, and all of a sudden I'm like, yep. So I take it, tie a knot, and I throw that thing off the damn aft end of the ship, and all of a sudden I see the end of the rope just go with it. I never tied it up. I never tied it off to the freaking lifeline.
Oh no!
Rails. So there went, I think 5 sets of uniforms, and I don't know, every pair of freaking underwear and socks I had. It was bad. It was bad. So yeah, from that point on, and I was broke as hell. I mean, I don't even think I got my first or second paycheck, and so I was like, yeah. So here I am borrowing, uniforms, and it was bad. It was pretty funny though, because of, it went from 0 to 60 around the ship in a matter of like 2 minutes. So for that cruise, I was the, everybody had their own fun at me. So it was pretty funny though.
Well, how about from the Army side? How did it differ as far as the shenanigans go?
It was a little bit different. I think the one thing that stands out with that is when we were mobbing at Fort Bliss, pre-mobbing, we had this little short guy, Mejia, in our unit and in our platoon, and he just loved to, go ahead and air it out and run up on somebody's bed and get in their sheets and grind it all in their sheets. And I'm like, that's like, you little bastard. So he went outside. So we were figuring out a way to get him back, and I was like, screw this. So I got up underneath his bunk, and so we had shut the lights off, and we had an early mission that next morning. So we're like, somebody go get Mejia, and they're like, where is he? Somebody said, he's out there smoking a cigarette. I said, tell him to get in here, that we need to cut the lights, because we got to get up at 04:30. So he comes in, and everybody's like, yeah, man, about time you got in here and stuff. So I'm laying up underneath his bed, and he sits down, and all of a sudden he reaches his hand down, and I'm like, I have nowhere to go because all his equipment's underneath the bed. So I'm leaning to the right. I don't know how he didn't touch my shoulder. But anyway, so he lays down. So the code was a sneeze once he got laid down and comfortable.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I hear the sneeze, and I bench press his bed, and he came flying off that freaking bed. I think he actually landed in the little walkway, dude, and he for like, I don't know, maybe an hour would not go to sleep, and it was hilarious. I mean, nobody slept. It was pretty funny because he was always the one that wanted to prank people and do funny things. Well, that shit came back on him. So.
Oh God, that's great. Well, that's better than a blanket party. I mean,
yeah. Or you're getting tied to your rack with dental floss.
Yeah, or getting saran wrap.
Yep.
Seen that before.
Yep. Seen that.
That's good shit.
Yep.
That's panic inducing. It's good stuff. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap you head to toe in saran wrap, and I'm gonna cut 2 holes. Okay.
Both for your eyes, not for your mouth.
Right. No. I'm gonna let you guess where. Okay, but I get to choose. All right. No lube. It's just, I know. That's how I roll. It's disgusting. Some people can't stand it. It's me. It's me being me.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
That's how it goes. Hey,
So
you're not the only sick-minded and twisted one.
No, of course not. Of course not. Oh, dear
The only
God.
one with a podcast, though.
Yeah. Dear God. And it's not even like anybody gave me a pedestal. I created my own.
There you go.
There it is.
Sometimes you just got to go and fight the fight yourself.
Yeah. Like a crazy person. Notice that this is the only time that I'm singular, so that way the rest of the group doesn't go down with me. Like Penny, that guy's out of his goddamn mind.
I
hear
wasn't
him?
part of that show.
He wants to buy a fucking archipelago. You know what I mean? Like, what? Normal people don't say that shit. Archipelago? What does that even mean? Grunts are running to the dictionary right now. It means a chain of islands. Anyway.
Yeah, help him out.
Dude, I swear to God, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I thought that I saw Iwo Jima was for sale. Okay. Now, if Iwo Jima is up for sale, I will buy it. Whether I have the money or not is entirely beside the point. If Iwo Jima was up for sale, I would buy it and keep it in its natural form. But I would go out there and hang out with all of my buddies on the beach. Like,
There you go.
every Marine in existence needs to go to Iwo Jima. I haven't gone. I want to go there. I want to go to Bellawood. You guys have all sorts of cool battlefields, like, all throughout even the continental United States with the Civil War battlefields. Marines didn't fight then. We did, kind of. But not like that.
You stood back with your slingshots?
Not, well, what I mean is we didn't have, like, Bellawood is some crazy-ass shit. Gettysburg is some crazy-ass
That's right.
shit. Like,
Gettysburg's nice. That's a pretty cool place.
well, yeah. We were talking about Gettysburg the other day. Somebody said that I look like... Oh, shit, I'm gonna slaughter the guy's name. He was a colonel, became a general later on, but he was out of Maine. And they said that with my mustache and beard, I looked like this Chamberlain fella, I believe it was his name. But he was a reverend anti-war protester and then became a colonel and slaughtered people at Gettysburg. Fucking irony. The warrior
Yeah.
monk. Hashtag
You'll never be able to
Mattis.
show your face out in public again.
Right. There you go. Shit. I'm just saying, the warrior monk. Hashtag Mattis 2016. Yacht. Thoughts?
Is it actually, or is that actually a movement? Is that actually happening, or is it just big rumor mill?
I don't know. We never talk about politics on here, but come on, that'd be cool though, right? I mean, there's a shit ton of people blowing up the internet right now. I've been quoted in the Daily Caller and American Military News with a tweet talking about Mattis.
Really?
Yep. I was like, right in Mattis 2016. Talk about making America great again. Hashtag stir the pot. Something like that. Yeah. I
Your
just
brother
sent
was
it.
watching.
Well, I just sent that thing out. And, I don't know. I mean, if he... Like, they're saying that you can draft him into running, to whatever extent. I mean, that's some George Washington shit, right?
2 generals.
Yeah.
President Mattis. Whew. It's got a nice ring to it. I'd be lining up for Monica Lewinsky's old job, I'll tell you that much right now. I'd be like, what's up, General? Be in with your coffee and your BJ in 5 minutes. So, just helping a brother out.
That's it.
It's all good. It's helping a
That's
brother out. What's up? What's up? Can I call you Jim?
Yeah. Jim Bob.
Oh, man. Legend. So much respect for that man. It's unreal.
So much respect, so little reverence. That's how it goes.
Who are you talking about? God bless him.
Corey.
Now's when we get into the loopiness of it. Uh-oh. I refreshed my Facebook. Somebody bought a Kia Soul. Man, that dude's happy. That dude's fucking happy. He's like, dude, check out this new car. That's awesome.
Move aside to the Yaris. The Prius, I mean.
Dude, you know who drove a Prius was Bill Skiles. Warhammer. He drove a Prius. Which, I mean, whatever.
Hey, somebody's got to drive them, right?
He literally had a vanity plate on a Prius. I'm like, yes. Hell yeah. We need to get him on the show. How about you? You got a vanity plate, Snyder?
No.
No, nothing?
No vanity plate for me, especially no herringbone, pink and silver hair plates or anything like that. No initials, no monograms, nothing like that.
How about a purple heart tag? Don't bullshit. You got a purple heart tag?
No, I've actually got the paperwork. I got to get it signed on next Friday.
Nice.
To get mine done.
The get out of all tickets.
Yeah, well, yeah, shit, it would have helped me on Wednesday night, but...
Oh, shit, what happened?
It's coming out of Virginia, watching my daughter's
Dude, it's always out of Virginia. The mother...
Yep. So, but, you know, the thing about the Purple Heart plate is you see so many notes being left, tires being slashed, and things like that, and... You know, it took me a couple of years to even come to grips with putting one on there. But the way I look at it is, you know what? If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. So I got the paperwork from DMV to get signed, so I'm going to get it.
Wait, so there's people slashing Purple Heart recipient tires?
I think it was probably 2 weeks ago. I saw something on Facebook where a guy came out of had a brand new, I think it was a 2015 pickup truck, came out and his two back tires were slashed, and then there was a note that said something about you kill families for a living. Too bad you survived. You should have been dead. So,
what is this, like Westboro Baptist?
Yeah,
shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, you've got a very small few people out there that don't support, you know, what's going on, what we've done. But you know, I'm not going to let that stop me. You know, it's my fighting force is 98% to their 2%, if even that. So bring it.
Nice.
Jesus.
I mean, it's just... That's just disgusting.
I haven't heard that yet.
It's ignorant.
I haven't even heard that yet.
Yeah, it actually happened. Down... It was in North Carolina. It was down near Wilmington. So... Yep.
Shit, man. You know, they'll get theirs. They'll get theirs in some way. And it's not... I mean, it's just... It really is ignorance. It's
well, you know what it is? It's people that don't understand we have a job to do. And, you know, we didn't just go over there for a government paid vacation.
Right.
We went over there to do a job, and we've been doing that job for a long time. And they just don't understand it. And so they think that because, you know, we're over there, you know, shooting guns and things like that we're trying to kill everybody we see, which, you know, is not the case at all.
No, nothing could be further from it.
Right. But what do they see? You know, what's the motto for the news? If it bleeds, it leads. And so what do they see? And they're seeing all the bad stuff. You know, they're not seeing some of the good strides that we've actually made over there. You know, so but I figure like this, you know, I could put a combat wounded bumper sticker on my car. Or I could put, you know, Operation Enduring Freedom on my car, or a Purple Heart plate. They're going to do whatever they want to do. They just better hope I don't catch them doing it.
Right.
Right. Sons of bitches. Oh, man, there's a guy in a ghillie suit who's freaking people out in a park. Ah, that's such a good idea. Why the fuck don't I think about this shit? We did that in Ford Story one time. In DM school, they fly you in and they do like, oh, we're going to do a covert, you know, whatever, landing. Well, I mean, some of these soldiers, they're showing up for drill. They have no fucking idea that you're, you know, snooping and pooping through the bushes and shit. We come popping out like in full veg. These guys, oh my God, poor bastards. They're in Army PT gear, like diving behind cars. Wow! The fuck? Calling 911 and shit. Wow! What the hell is going on? We're like melting into the woods, running through base. Afterwards, we were in the bus. We were oh God, they were driving us over to the LZ afterwards, like Index or whatever. And they're like, "All right, be honest. Be honest. Who the fuck ran through the middle of the base?" Like they're calling the 911 and shit. We were dying, dude. We were laughing like idiots, man. Oh God.
Yeah, Yeah, we had the guy that was with us. He ordered a ghillie suit, and his father sent it to him when we were at Fort Bliss. And so he went out there one night, and there was an engineering unit they were housed in the same general area as we were. They were actually getting ready to roll out in a day or two. And so he went out to smoke a cigarette in his ghillie suit. And then, the police out there at Fort Bliss, guy comes up, and he's sitting under a light on a picnic table, just in his ghillie suit, smoking a cigarette. And the cop comes up, shines the light on him, and you can see his right hand's on his pistol and everything. And the guy's like, "How you doing, officer?" And we're all sitting around the backside of the Connex. He's like, "What are you doing with your makeup, your get up on?" And he said, "Oh, this is a ghillie suit." He said, "I'm taking this to Afghanistan with me." So, needless to say, it never did get packed away into his Foot Locker. But it shit was funny, man. The cop was looking at him like, he didn't know what to think. And we're sitting around the backside just busting ass laughing. So we have a feeling somebody probably called the cops as a prank. That shit, man. He's a deputy sheriff now, actually. So I hope somebody pays him back on it.
Those shenanigans. That's the kind of shit you miss every day. Is people just fucking around and not taking things as seriously, while taking things way more seriously. It's kind of
right.
Give zero fucks whilst giving the most amount of fucks. You're like, fuck the haters, and then continue on forward with being awesome.
If you're going at this, and you do need to be, attention ahead, but you got to sort of break it up a little bit and have a little bit of fun. And it just makes whatever you're doing, training, deployments, or just, hanging out on the weekends, it does make things go a lot easier. And that's the camaraderie that I was missing, after I got injured and I came back. But, there's a lot of good times I can hang my hat on and say, you know what, I've had some fun. So it's a different journey. It's a different career path now. I still stay involved with soldier support and military veterans and their families. But, for the being the part of the active role, you take that hat off and you put your civilian side on. Now you can kind of be a jerk and nobody's judging you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. God bless America and nowhere else.
America.
Merkin.
American.
Hey, so give us your links one more time and wrapping things up here, because we do have to come to a close soon.
It's you can look us up on the web at www.archangelalliance.net. Twitter's ARCH_ANGEL, or correction, ARCH_Alliance, ALLIANCE_. And then you can find us on Facebook at the www.facebook.com/Archangel Alliance.
Nice. There you go. And we're going to include it in the show description. All of our links that we've got on there below. So if you haven't already done so, click subscribe, rate, review on Stitcher, iTunes, Player FM. Get to it. And click on those links. Check out Archangel Alliance. So Kyle, what's next? Where are you going with this? What's the next evolution?
One of the things, like I had mentioned, is we're trying to get out there. We're trying to be able to help as many people that need it and that we can without having to ask for donations. And so the big sponsorship is something near and dear to my heart, because the Rice and Beans mission trip to Costa Rica is actually is a good friend of mine who's actually going to be retiring soon, and she felt it on her heart to do that, and we want to be a part of that. And then just helping a young soldier, enlisted soldier out, would get started in school. There's a lot of things that we want to be able to do. Like I said, toy drives, we want to make sure that the families are taken care of. So toy drives, food drives, just hoping to pick up maybe a family at Christmas and just be able to bring some cheer and some good things to a family that's got a couple kids at Christmas, and be able to help with the cost of buying those kids some Christmas toys. And so there's a lot of things, and we've got a lot of time in our hands, and we're going to make a big difference in this area. And come hell or high water, we're either going to be flying or we're going to die trying. So soon we'll find out.
Nice. Very cool. Well, we look forward to helping you ramp that thing up and accelerate overall.
Absolutely, man, and we're excited about that. I was telling my wife tonight that what we had talked about earlier, and so it's the thing is we've got a lot of avenues, and we're getting into the community now, so we're starting to push some things, and hopefully this time next year we'll be we may not be building houses, but we be able to make a difference in a family. Absolutely, I think we will.
Right on. Yeah, man. Come on into Bunker Labs.
Yeah.
Hang out.
Absolutely.
Enjoy. We'll come one, come all. Bunker Labs. Let's do this.
Yep. I'll see you on Wednesday, right?
What's that? Coming up here? Yes.
Bunker
Wednesday.
Labs.
We're gonna do a million cups on the bridge, and then we're gonna do a tour of Bunker Labs. Show you around.
Sounds good.
There you go.
Sounds
It's gonna be awesome. Hell yeah, brother. Kyle, it's been wonderful, man. Seriously.
Absolutely. Appreciate the time, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Kyle Snyder, and thank you so much to our sponsors. That's veteranslist.us, First Data, and Counter-Strike. We've got discount codes galore. Check it out below. Check it out on the website, cigarsandseastories.com. Hey, come on back and join us anytime now. You hear? You like how I just kind of went a little bit there? It was a little bit into it. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM. Click subscribe, rate, review the podcast. Give us a review, give us a comment, do something, share it. I mean, Jesus, even if it's you guys suck and here's how you can get better. I mean, constructive criticism would be cool. So, anyway. Oh, God. Kyle Snyder, you are an awesome American. Keep adding value to the world, brother.
Yet.
Will do, man.
Hell
Thanks,
yes.
guys.
Hell yes. Jocelyn, cue the music!